Hello and welcome back to The Stack. Here are your top stories for today. For our first story today, we have Eric Trump, and he's giving an inside look as to what happened during the FBI raid of Trump's house at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. So he says that the FBI came to the house and asked the Trump family to turn off all security cameras on the property. They forced their lawyer to stand outside on the driveway while they ransacked the resort's interior. He said, quote, "There's 30 agents there. They told our lawyer, you have to leave the property right now. Turn off all security cameras." The FBI didn't give a physical copy of the search warrant to the Trump family members, and they were not clear about why they were there, Eric said. The agency did show a copy of the document to Donald Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, but Bobb said that she was about 10 feet away, which means that she could probably not even see the document that they were trying to show her because she's so far away. How is she supposed to be able to read it from there? This is just some shady behavior by the FBI, which is honestly what we've come to expect at this point. She criticized the FBI's behavior too. She said, quote, "This was a completely unnecessary power flex. It was a weird flex. It's quite honestly sad to see what they have done to our country." The Trump family did not follow the orders to turn off the security cameras. They actually defied the FBI and left them on, and by doing that, they were able to find the FBI being in some places where they weren't really supposed to be. So Eric Trump says that they saw the FBI going through the master bedroom of the estate, searching through Melania Trump's clothes, which honestly, I don't see a reason why you would need to do that. I understand that if it's an FBI raid, you got to look through, you got to see if there's a legitimate reason why they needed to, go through his wife's clothes, why they needed to ransack the house. But we'd love to hear it. We'd love for them to be able to bring that up to us and tell us why they decided to do such a invasive search, but they haven't. And it seems to me that if they had a legitimate reason to do this, that they would be very quick to tell us why, so that we would stop having to question and we would stop wondering why the FBI executed this seeming overreach of power. Unfortunately, they don't seem to think that it's necessary to tell us. They seem to think that they're going to get away with just acting in inappropriate manners, and they think the American people are just going to ignore it and just let it be. But that is not the case. That brings us to our second story today, which is also from Eric Trump on Twitter, and he was reporting that following the FBI raid, Trump is receiving massive support, better than he's ever seen in recent memory. So this is a tweet from Eric Trump. He said, "DonaldTrump.com is shattering all fundraising records, and I'm told has raised more money in the past 24 hours than ever before in recent history. The American people are pissed." This was on August 9th that he tweeted this, just after the raid, and it's really seeming to backfire on the FBI and on the federal government. As we've reported here on this show, it seems pretty clear that the reason the FBI would want to go and raid Donald Trump's house is because they're looking for some reason to disqualify him for the 2024 election because they're afraid he would beat Joe Biden. Unfortunately for them, it's not working out very well. It's backfiring. Donald Trump is raising more money than he ever has. According to the Federal Election Commission, the Save America Joint Fundraising Committee has raised over $107 million during the current election cycle as of June 30th. So that's great for Donald Trump if he were to run again in 2024. But some people may be thinking, what if he doesn't run? Where's all this money going to go? Well, they've been pretty clear about that too. It's going to be going to affiliated communities, which most likely are candidates that Trump has endorsed, going to them, going to their campaigns. And so it's very interesting because the left wants to stop Trump from running in 2024. They want to stop Republicans from being able to execute this red wave that a lot of people see coming. Our third story today comes from Oklahoma, where a giant wind turbine came crashing to the ground around 4:30 on Wednesday. This happened because of a very strong windstorm that blew through. This was in Custer County, and it set a large fire after it fell to the ground. Reporters first reached the Traverse Wind Energy Center, which is one of the biggest wind turbine farms in the country, around 4:30, and they saw a wind turbine bent in half and on fire because of this storm that was blowing through. We have a picture here that we can show you of this turbine being bent in half. You can see this black smoke coming up and this blaze as there's a car of what appears to be first responders trying to decide what they're going to do about this massive fire that's now been set off because this wind turbine fell. A representative for the Public Service Company of Oklahoma said the site had been secured and no one was hurt, but that doesn't seem like that's something that we can count on in all these situations. Wind turbines falling like that can certainly cause injuries for anyone who's nearby, certainly very dangerous, and they also cause fires that are incredibly hard to put out. This happened last month in Texas as well, a wind turbine crumbling, falling to the ground, causing a fire. And the fire department said that they really were not able to put out the fire. They weren't able to respond to it because it's so dangerous when this happens. The wind turbine is still moving. The blades are still hitting the ground, causing this massive smoke. He said, quote, "We're not equipped to handle that kind of fire. Nobody in the area really is to speak of." Now, this was from Fire Chief Perry Shaw. He said that the oil in the gearbox and mineral oil in the transformer led to black smoke filling the sky. Quote, "We've done training with the wind farm company, and they are not safe to approach during that scenario. There weren't any people in danger of being hurt, so we let the fire do what it was going to do." That's great, obviously. I mean, we're glad nobody got hurt, but what happens when somebody is in range? What happens when somebody could get hurt from this fire? What are they going to do? They're not allowed to respond to it. They have a giant wind turbine that's still, the blades are turning, and it's causing smoke and fire. What if somebody was in that path? And so this is just a setback of what we see the left pushing all these alternative energy, these green energies. Wind turbines are great in some ways. They're great for some things, but the idea that we're going to be able to switch completely to alternative energy, we're going to be able to use wind turbines and solar energy instead of any natural gases, is just, honestly, we're not there yet. And this shows us that there are still issues with these wind turbines. If you want to stay up to date on all the stories about the left's push for alternative energy, the left's overreach in the FBI raid of Donald Trump's home, and anything else going on in politics today, go to westernjournal.com. We're going to have all those stories for you there. Please like and subscribe this channel if you love The Stack. Go ahead and hit that bell icon so that you'll get notified whenever we go live, and you'll never miss an episode of The Stack.